I am legally blind from my surgeon's improper use of an investigational laser, a laser sanctioned by the FDA, known to be responsible for damaging over 30 people. I had retinopathy of prematurity, meaning that my retinas were structurally incomplete at birth. I was 20/50 and barely legal to drive when I had LASIK. I was never a candidate. The intraocular pressure created by the suction ring destroyed my retinas. My problems are permanent. As retinal problems, they will never be addressed by a contact lens. I believe my doctor knew this and did the procedure anyway. I was dropped from their clinical study. So were others. Those data were never reported to the FDA. The doctor sued me because I set up a website and told the truth. I've addressed my concerns to the FDA for over 5 years, not only on my behalf, but also on behalf of others. In 2003, I filed a petition regarding medical devices and safety of refractive surgery, which was ignored. Help was offered by Ombudsman Les Weinstein and then retracted. My concerns today are with those needlessly damaged by refractive surgery. Even with the most modern technology, there are still too many people writing me, telling of the nightmares they now live with on a daily basis. I received several hundred emails this past year from people seeking help. Many of those are depressed. Some of them have confided that they want to commit suicide, and this is just through one website. Having corresponded with many of those patients, I believe they are just ordinary people caused in unusual circumstances. There is nothing remarkable about them, certainly nothing to suggest perfectionism or any of the other reasons that some LASIK doctors use to excuse their own bad results. The FDA's capacity to oversee the refractive surgery industry is, in my opinion, no different than the doctors who have tarnished it. The FDA has been ineffective in overseeing investigational studies, ineffective in enforcing the policies mandated for the industry, and ineffective in providing thus far the protection that many of us here today should have had. Everyone in this room today is here for a reason. Please do not allow what is presented to you to continue falling on deaf ears. The public must depend on government agencies like the FDA to protect them. In a recent press release, ASCRS volunteered to contribute funding for the FDA study on LASIK complications and quality of life. The FDA has already received copious amounts of criticism because of funding received from the pharmaceutical industry. Essentially, industry funds the FDA, which creates conflicts of interest. I asked the panel how funding received from ASCRS is any different. Most of the patients who have emailed my website feel deceived and lied to by surgeons who have exploited the public perception that doctors are healers. Why should damaged patients trust an organization of such surgeons any more than they trusted their own surgeon? Included with my submission today, I would like to emphasize are 2 letters previously written to the FDA, which are already public record. These letters apply not only to me, but many others. The letter written by Dr. Stephen Freeman to the FDA's Office of Criminal Investigation summarizes not only my experience and I believe the outright criminal activity of my doctors, but also explains why the civil justice system does not work. The letter written by Dr. James Saltz, respected LASIK surgeon and principal investigator for past FDA studies, emphasizes that I was not a proper candidate for LASIK and tells why. Also included are a few documents and previous correspondence I sent to the FDA. I believe this further supports what I just outlined. My story and more can be found at LASIKdecision.com. I asked the panel to recommend to that FDA conduct its own independent and unbiased study, survey damaged LASIK patients nationwide, and ask how many feel lied to by their LASIK doctors. Conducted without funding from the industry, the results might be believable. I would also ask that the criminal division of the FDA conduct an investigation of specific doctors, such as mine, in regards to their actions in dealing with many of us. I think a moratorium on advertising by doctors is an intriguing idea as well. So much is made on patient selection, but more should be done on doctor selection. Maybe a website listing doctor qualifications in the standardized verified format. Thank you for your time, and I would gladly post any presentation unedited on my website.